I've just returned from Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark and one of the real highlights on any Baltic or Scandinavian cruise itinerary. This is a city of castles and canals, of cycling and cutting-edge design. Some call it the capital of cool, others associate it with happiness or hygge. Whatever you're looking for, Copenhagen delivers, and that makes it one of the most exciting cruise ports in Northern Europe. A friend of mine is about to set sail on a very similar itinerary, and she told me how much she was looking forward to visiting Copenhagen, and in particular, the Little Mermaid, and asked if I had any tips for her. Now, I have a lot to say on the Little Mermaid and Copenhagen in general, so I've made this video packed with everything you need to know before you go to Copenhagen on a cruise. I hope my friend finds it useful, and I hope you find it useful too. By the way, my name is David Nikel, and I am a travel writer and cruise ship enrichment speaker, giving talks on all things Northern Europe on a variety of cruise lines. If you've got a cruise coming up, join my free newsletter, The British Cruise Traveller, for insider advice and behind-the-scenes insights. Just head on over to davidnikel.com, or you'll find the link down in the description. Now, let's get back to Copenhagen, and I'm going to start with a few practical tips before moving on to the highlights. Number 1, know your dock. The newest cruise terminals at Ocean Quay are several kilometers from the city centre, but it means Copenhagen can now handle multiple large ships at once, and it's increasingly being used as a turnaround port. Don't let this distance put you off exploring independently though. Shuttle buses run to nearby metro stations, some connect with hop-on, hop-off bus routes, and many cruise lines offer direct transfers into town. Some smaller cruise ships may still dock at Langelinie, which is closer to the city and to the Little Mermaid. Check with your cruise line where your ship is going to dock, as it will help you plan your day in Copenhagen. Number 2, public transport is excellent. Once you're in the city, Copenhagen's public transport system is reliable, clean, and easy to use. The trains, metro, buses, and harbour ferries will take you almost anywhere you want to go, and most stations and stops have clear English signage. Number 3, respect the bike lanes. If one image defines Copenhagen, it's the bicycle. At rush hour, the flow of cyclists is astonishing, and the dedicated bike lanes are treated like roads. Renting a bike is a great way to explore the city, but if you're on foot, be careful not to step into the lanes, and if you do rent a bike, keep moving. Locals really don't appreciate dawdlers. Number 4, Denmark is expensive. Now, prices in Copenhagen aren't quite at Norwegian or Icelandic levels, but if you're from the US or the UK, you'll probably still get a bit of sticker shock. A simple lunch can cost what you'd normally pay for dinner back home, so budget accordingly. Number 5, you're in Denmark, so it's the Danish kroner you'll be spending. But gone are the days where you need to bring hard currency. And that's great for a city and a port that's often the only one in Denmark on a cruise itinerary that features many countries. Don't bring cash, you just won't need it. From public transport to a coffee shop lunch, it's tap to pay everywhere. Number 6, expect crowds. Even outside the peak summer months, Copenhagen's main attractions draw huge numbers of tourists. My recent visit was in September and the queues were still long at popular attractions. If you're planning an independent day in Copenhagen, book your tickets in advance for popular attractions and start your day early to make the most of your time ashore. Number 7, English is fine. Almost everyone in Copenhagen speaks excellent English, so you'll have no trouble communicating. That said, learning a few words of Danish will always be appreciated. Just bear in mind that Danish pronunciation is notoriously difficult. A little effort goes a long way, but don't be surprised if you get a puzzled smile in return. Number 8, there's no such thing as a Danish pastry. If you ask for a Danish in Copenhagen, you'll be met by a blank stare. Pastries are popular, but they come in many forms, from cinnamon swirls and custard-filled spirals to chocolate-topped pastries. Pair one with a strong coffee at a neighbourhood bakery for the true Copenhagen-like-a-local experience. Number 9, consider the Copenhagen card for a longer stay. If you have a long port call here, and I've seen quite a few overnight port calls in Copenhagen these days, or you're embarking the ship here, consider the Copenhagen card for a good value way to see the city's highlights. It's not cheap, but it covers all your public transport and entry to most attractions, including Tivoli Gardens, which I'll talk about in a moment. There's another version which doesn't include public transport, but rather includes the hop-on hop-off buses instead. That's more aimed at the cruise traveller, so perhaps that will suit you if you have a long port call in Copenhagen. They're especially good value if you have kids, because kids are added onto the card for free. Number 10, a taste of Denmark at Torvehallene. This cross between local market and food hall is a great place to sample local flavours. Right by Nørreport station, it's packed with stalls selling everything from freshly made smørrebrød, open sandwiches, to gourmet coffee, pastries, and Danish cheeses. Now let's talk about the city's highlights. This is not intended to be a complete guide to everything to see and do in Copenhagen, but it's my recommendations for how to spend your time. Number 11, Tivoli Gardens is a must. You do not need to be a fan of roller coasters or theme parks to enjoy Tivoli. This historic amusement park has been entertaining locals and visitors since 1843, and it's as much about the gardens, lakes, and food as it is about the rides. Many Copenhagen locals buy season passes here just to dine in the evenings or enjoy afternoon strolls after work. If your ship stays late, Tivoli is especially lovely at night when it's all lit up, and especially during the Halloween and winter opening season in the run-up to Christmas. Number 12, visit Nyhavn, but just for photos. These colourful houses along the old harbour are probably the most photographed scene in Copenhagen, and for good reason. It's a beautiful spot and a popular place for boat departures as well. But be warned, restaurants and cafes here are among the most expensive in the city. Snap your photos, soak up the atmosphere, and then move on elsewhere. Number 13, Rosenborg Castle. Right in the middle of the city, this 17th century castle houses Denmark's crown jewels and other royal treasures. It's surrounded by the King's Garden, which is free to stroll and especially lively in the summer. If you only choose one historic site, Rosenborg gives you a compact but memorable taste of Denmark's royal history. Number 14, the changing of the guard. Amalienborg Palace is the official residence of Denmark's royal family. Every day at noon, you can watch the guard march through the city and change shifts in the palace square. It's a popular spectacle, so arrive early if you want a good spot. Number 15, Christiansborg Palace. This imposing building is the seat of the Danish Parliament, the Supreme Court, and the Prime Minister's office. Parts of the palace are open to visitors, including the royal reception rooms and the tower, which offers a great view over the city. Number 16. Notice the design in everyday life. In Copenhagen, good design isn't confined to the museums, although the Danish Design Museum is an excellent place to visit if design is your thing. Step outside and you'll notice how design touches almost everything. The smooth lines of the metro stations, the clever details on bicycles, and even the way public benches are shaped. Like other Scandinavians, Danes have a knack for combining beauty with practicality. And once you start spotting it, you'll understand why Nordic design is admired around the world. Number 17, Freetown, Christiania. Just across the water from Nyhavn, Christiania is Copenhagen's famous alternative neighbourhood. Established in the 1970s by squatters in a former military area, it declared itself a self-governing community with its own rules. Today, it's a mix of colourful murals, quirky houses, art workshops, and food stalls. The area does have a bit of a dodgy reputation, but it has started to clean up its act in recent years. Photography is restricted here, so be respectful if you go. Number 18, Copenhagen's waterfront offers many swimming spots. On a warm day, you'll notice plenty of locals jumping straight into the harbour. That's not something you'll see in too many cities, but the water is clean enough to do that here. Not only that, but some of the modern waterfront developments have designated pools and jetties. Even if you don't swim, it's fun to see how the city has embraced its waterfront. Number 19, Amagerstrand. Just a short metro ride from downtown Copenhagen is Amagerstrand, and this long, sandy beach shows you a different side to Copenhagen. Locals come here to swim or just relax with an ice cream. If your cruise stop is in the summer and the weather cooperates, it's a nice way to unwind after sightseeing. Just be aware it can get very windy down here. Number 20. The Little Mermaid is overrated. I hope everything I've shared with you so far shows you just how much there is to see and do in Copenhagen, so perhaps you won't be too surprised to hear that I told my friend not to bother with the Little Mermaid. It's just a sculpture, it's smaller than you expect, and there can be crazy numbers of people battling to get a selfie. On this day, there were relatively few. With so much more to see, I'd rather spend my limited time elsewhere. What I did say to her though is if she really wanted to see the sculpture, to consider a tour of the city instead, but not really the hop-on hop-off sightseeing bus. Now usually I think these kind of buses are good, if slightly expensive, solutions to ticking off the sites in a new destination. But Copenhagen lends itself so much to being explored on foot, on bike, or by the water, or even by plane. There are so many better alternatives, unless you really want to tour all the castles and palaces, for example. They are a bit spaced out, so in that circumstance, the sightseeing bus, you might want to consider it. Number 21, a canal boat tour. Now, my recommendation to her was actually to consider a canal boat tour in order to see the Little Mermaid, but then take in the other highlights too. Now, these are popular, so it's well worth booking this kind of tour in advance, but they provide a wonderful perspective on some of the real highlights of Copenhagen, along with the Little Mermaid if you really have to see it. Now, if you took a morning canal boat tour followed by an afternoon relaxing or enjoying the rides in Tivoli Gardens, you're going to have seen the very best of Copenhagen in a more relaxed manner without stressing about ticking off every single site or waiting and waiting and waiting for the next hop-on bus. Let me know down in the comments if you think my friend should see the Little Mermaid, or if, like me, you think it's overrated. And if you're new to cruising, watch this video next to learn all the things I wish I knew the first time I stepped on a cruise ship. I made a lot of mistakes, and I don't want you to do the same.